Hey y'all. So, this is my second video that I'm making for y'all. I just made a video for y'all, hadn't even posted it yet, but I wanted to come and make this video. So, I was going to say I'm back, but y'all don't know that it's me. Y'all don't know that I made another video. I'm going to post it after I post this one. So, welcome to another What Else Is Going On podcast YouTube video. I'm your girl, your host, Taria. This is probably not even going to be 8 minutes, but there's been a lot of talk about Atlanta, Kenya, Brit. We all heard the news back last year. We heard that Kenya showed these nudes of Brit or her uh, taking it to the throat. Again, Nancy Reagan would probably be proud. Nancy Reagan was the original throat goat, so they say. So they say, do your research. But anyway, so we know that we got all this information, right? Little pieces, stuff was coming out, coming out, coming out. And Kenya, it came out that Brit threatened Kenya with a pow pow, right? There's been a lot of conversation of whether or not it was a direct threat, indirect threat, what have you. But we all said, well, wait, Brit is lying because when all this came out last summer, she denied having the pow. I want to bring up real quick, even though we talked about it in videos earlier this week, let's bring up real quick again when all this was coming out, them saying that Kenya posted revenge P, all this other stuff. Brit came down to the internet. Let's get into what she said. I got it. I went and pulled the tweet from Reality Blur or the post from Reality Blur. It's never a good feeling being targeted or hazed in caps. Remember, she wrote this when we got bits and pieces before we watched it this year. So, it's never a good feeling being targeted or hazed in caps by someone I thought would embrace me into a new circle that I never met. For the record, I've never once had possession of any weapons or threatened anyone ever. I've never been to jail and fight or even had as much as a speeding ticket. That's not in my character. I am hurt by the narrative that's being displayed. Wrong is wrong. So she said, I've never once, I've never once had possession of any weapons. I've never once, not I've never, while shooting the show, had possession of a weapon. In the past year, I've never had possession of a weapon. When we first met, I've never had possession of a weapon. She said, I've never once had possession of any weapons. Then, shout out to my friend Carlos J. Harris. Shout out to him. I said, oh, this is interesting. Y'all, we got to get into some things. Hold on. Remember, she said, I've never once had possession of any weapon. Just so y'all can see it. We're going to see it again. We're going to see it together. Right? Y'all see that? I've never once had possession of any weapons. Y'all, let's take a gander, shall we? Let's get on over to YouTube.
Yeah.
Every time, and I keep my pistol with me always, always. You just never
Security
know.
that's at the gas station?
I only go to gas stations that have security there. I only go to the same gas stations if I'm in the city.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
every time, and I keep my pistol with me always, always. You just never
Security
know.
that's at the gas station?
I only go to gas stations that have security there. I only go to the same gas stations if I'm in the city.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
every time, and I.
That was from the Rich and Unemployed Uncut podcast. Again, I got that from Carlos. We got it by way of it's Normani Bitch at Sweet Bitch on X. Now, here's my thing. Somebody said, I've never in my life seen security at a gas station. She was talking about her needing security and all of that, different areas that she goes to. I don't care if she was saying someone threatened me and I started carrying a gun. In her statement, no matter what context this is in, even though she was talking about, being secured, no matter what context it's in, she said, I've never once had possession of any weapons. She didn't say, I mean, she didn't have to say that in this statement. She didn't have to mention that. She could have said, I've never had any weapons on me while filming. I know that probably then people would raise the question like, oh, so do you mean that you carry weapons? But isn't it legal in Georgia, I believe? So she said she's never once had possession of any weapon, but she was on a podcast saying she keeps her pistol on her. So she clearly has a pistol because she don't just say pow pow. She says her pistol. That was in 2022. That was Rich. It's called Rich and Unemployed. It's on YouTube. And her episode is Millions from Insurance, Brit Eady. Now you will have to go to Patreon to see more of that convo, I believe. Actually, you may not. But yeah, what they have posted is about an hour and some change, about an hour and 35, hour and 40 minutes long. I just wanted to show you all that because, again, what she said was, I've never once had possession of any weapon. And in this, when she was on this podcast, she said she keeps her pistol on her, which is what she indirectly threatened Kenya with. I'm not going to go back and forth on people trying to convince them. My opinion, it was a threat. Other people don't think it's a threat. Other people think it was a throwaway comment, which it's a show. It's a reality show, yes, but they're also at work. So try that at your job. And people may say, well, you can't compare the two because one's a reality show and my office job, I couldn't get into an argument and say that. It's still work. They still have HR. Remember when when Karen called HR on Candace because she was worried, concerned because Candace told her to go to hell. Which, by the way, did y'all see the news? Did y'all see Candace's post about her being at NBC Universal? She said it's always a good time going to NBC Universal. Let me see. See if she has it on her page. I'm sure y'all have seen it by now. But in case y'all haven't, let's look at it. NBC, Universal, and TV streaming. Always a treat and a pleasure when I get to see my at NBC Universal fam. Me and these thick thighs had a time. I hope this means the Princess of Potomac is coming back. I know some of y'all don't, and that's fine. We're allowed to have differences of opinion. Just because I may not like your favorite doesn't, or just because I don't see it for your favorite doesn't mean I hate your favorite, doesn't mean whatever. It just means we disagree. We're all allowed to have opinions. Anyway, I hope Candace is coming back. But anyway, back to talking about HR and this being a job. They're filming a show. It is a job. And it would be one thing if Bravo came out and said, we did an investigation and found that Brit did not threaten Kenya. If they wanted to say that, whether we agreed or not, at least they would be addressing. We found that Brit's comment about the pow pow or the pistol were not a threat to Kenya. Again, that would definitely be a conversation, at least for me, because I would be like, I don't agree. However, if they had at least addressed it, maybe people could be like, okay, well, now the focus is, was it a threat? Wasn't it a threat? Should she have been suspended? Should she have not? But for, I was going to call her Brenda, child, but for, what the child's name is, but for Brit to come out and say, denied it. She's never once had a weapon on her. What'd she say again? I've never once had possession of any weapons. For her to say that, and then for an insider to say that, a production insider say that pow pow was never mentioned, only to see it mentioned, it's like, okay, now wait a minute. We have an issue here because y'all straight up denied her use of the word. Child, but now she's on a podcast 2 years ago saying she keep it on her. Oh, Brit, I wonder if Bravo is going to. We don't know if Kenya's coming back, right? She's been coming out kind of hard on social media about her opinions about Bravo, the show, what have you. I wonder if Bravo will not bring Brit back, even if they don't bring Kenya back, because they feel like that's what the audience wants them to do. or because they see the audience's reaction to the footage of her talking about her pow pow. Even if people don't agree that it was a threat, there's still conversation around. There's been a lot of conversation around it. I wish someone interviewing her would bring up this post. I think I said it in my last video, but I really do hope. I really wish somebody would. Her apologizing and taking accountability by saying I should have never said it, I should have never done it. But okay, that's cool. Why did you lie on Reality Blurb? And now if they see this little snippet of her saying she keeps her pistol on her at all times, I would then have more questions if I was to interview her in a respectful way, of course, but we need answers now. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Brit and her packing. Do you think she needs to go? Do you think she should be given a second chance? What do y'all think? Y'all let me know. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later. I'm about to post this video and then I'm going to post the next one. See ya.